It certainly lives up to its name. Adelaide, the Grand Prix capital of Australia. It's vibrant. It's on the move. You can feel its pulse. And when there's something happening, high revving action is all around. Of course, Adelaide and South Australia isn't only about fast cars and the most prestigious motor racing series in the world. It's about people in a holiday city with a lifestyle that many visitors envy, no matter where they come from or how they get here. Adelaide was named after the wife of King William IV and planned with vision by Colonel William Light. His statue still stands looking down over the city he deemed should be set between the green hills of the Mount Lofty Ranges and the blue waters of St Vincent's Gulf. Light planned a city of 1 square mile surrounded by parklands and sourced by the River Torrens. Today, nearly 150 years on, the planning of Light's city has been adhered to strictly over the decades, and Adelaide remains unique in Australia. Within the city, it's the simple things, just how Light planned them, which stand out. The streets are straight and wide, always clean and usually tree-lined, adding shade and colour. And now the charming mix of tall new office blocks that tower over buildings more than 100 years old combine 19th century architecture with 20th century innovation. And there's another thing that people notice about Adelaide. Where's the smog? And what about the traffic jams? How come there aren't any, not even in peak periods? And Adelaide is made for walking, exploring at your own leisure. Along tree-lined North Terrace, past Parliament House and Government House, reminders of our Westminster links, past Adelaide University, past museums, mansions, galleries and gardens. Clean air, friendly people, a year-round festival atmosphere, plus that extra quality of life. That's just part of the Adelaide experience. The compact city with just over 1 million population is surrounded by parklands and divided by the picturesque River Torrens. The parks are packed with playgrounds, boating ponds, wading and swimming pools, picnic and barbecue areas, all with wide open spaces where children delight in running, exploring, cycling and kite flying. An integral part of Adelaide's lifestyle is its entertainment. Everything from the fun and gaiety of street theatre and buskers to the best of international stage shows and opera. South Australia is well known as the festival state. Its biennial arts festival is world famous for its ability to bring together the best dance, opera, ballet and drama companies, leading orchestras and chamber groups, as well as singers, actors, writers and directors who represent the classic through to the most avant-garde. The home of the Adelaide Festival is the spectacular Festival Centre, regarded as one of the finest performing arts complexes in the world. Situated on the banks of the Torrens with stunning views across Elder Park and the river, Festival Centre contains a 2,000-seat concert theatre, drama theatre, experimental theatre, galleries and restaurants. You don't have to attend a show to take a peep inside. Every year, more than 30,000 people take one of the guided tours through this outstanding complex. But the arts isn't the only area to prompt festivity. The wine industry has been known to enjoy a good time or two, especially after harvesting yet another top vintage. Also, a colourful series of community festivals provide an entertaining insight into the wide variety of cultural traditions that are important to South Australians.
Take a sip, take a hike.
Ooh, take a bite.
Enjoy,
Enjoy,
enjoy.
enjoy.
Just for once in your life.
Do whatever you like.
Enjoy,
Enjoy.
enjoy,
Sweet South Australia.
enjoy.
Ooh, South Australia.
Back in the city, the people of Adelaide are avid restaurant goers. It's perhaps one of the most attractive sides of Adelaide's nightlife. So much great food to choose from. Because of Adelaide's multicultural base, every taste is catered for, and half the fun before eating is strolling from restaurant to restaurant, comparing menus and prices to decide what you feel like. Adelaide has more restaurants per head of population than any other capital city in Australia, and many of the restaurants are compacted into well-known eating boulevards around town. Diners who've allowed themselves half an hour to browse and choose have never been disappointed. And in Adelaide, there's always plenty to do at night. Take your pick from cabaret or jazz, maybe folk or country music. The disco scene is alive, as are nightclubs with their sophisticated acts, even saucy striptease, from all over the world. And the beat goes on till late. Take time out with a cosy coffee lounge, or just keep the fun times rolling with a group of good friends at the pub. And there's a certain air of sophistication to Adelaide. With familiar global names like Hilton and Oberoi, soon to be joined by the Hyatt, the international standard accommodation and facilities add to the city's cosmopolitan appeal. And there's bigger and better things to come. People are already talking about the plush Adelaide Casino, bringing Monte Carlo style and elegance to South Australia. The beaches, golden white sands and sparkling blue seas that stretch for more than 30 kilometres along Adelaide's metropolitan coastline. Everybody lives close to the beach, and during summer it's part of the great Aussie lifestyle. The safe, sheltered waters are ideal for swimming. The colourful sails of racing yachts provide a spectacular backdrop. And down at the southern beaches especially, when the surf's up, the action's on. Of course, the beaches are just great for sunbaking, if you see what I mean. Or for family fun, there's plenty of room for a game of cricket, volleyball or a frisbee. Maslin Beach, just south of Adelaide, was Australia's first legal nude beach, and there's plenty of families here too. It may sound odd, but Adelaide's beaches and hills have something in common. They're both only 15 minutes from the city centre, in different directions of course. The hills are something else. Lush green pastures, fields of wildflowers, strawberry and cherry orchards, orchids, camellias and almond groves contrast against brilliant yellow wattles, dense scrub and stately gum trees that shelter native birds and wildlife. Among the many scenic routes throughout the hills, winding roads pass cool waterfalls and bubbling creeks, through colourful gorges and deep ravines. Historical villages and quaint hamlets, each with their own distinctive charm and atmosphere, dot the countryside. You could be 1,000 miles from the nearest capital city. Small produce farms and orchards add an extra dash of colour, as roadside stalls offer everything from farm fresh eggs, flowers, fruit and vegetables at bargain prices. The hills are also the home of Adelaide's talented artists and craftsmen. Craft shops and galleries abound, and it's not surprising they do a roaring trade, especially on weekends when people can take their time browsing through wide-ranging selections of pottery, ceramics, glassware, tapestries, paintings, silver, brassware and woodwork to find that special something. And of course there's nothing like the warm hospitality of an old country pub. They usually serve the heartiest home-style meals, or be tempted by the wafting aroma of fresh honey cakes, homemade buns and pastries, hot out of the oven of a local country bakery. And what would the countryside be without a few familiar favourites? In the centre of Adelaide's beautiful hills, it's fun to cuddle a koala, feed the kangaroos, or watch the birds skim across the lakes. South Australian life is the good life, the healthy life, outdoors life, with plenty of sport, whether it be a social game between friends or the serious business of tough competition. Where else in the world can you watch Formula One Grand Prix racing within a stone's throw of your hotel? Or spend an afternoon enjoying a round of golf with the enchanting city skyline as a backdrop to the ninth? There's no other football code like Aussie rules, and Adelaide is home to some of the best clubs and players in the country. This is Australia's vineyard. A great time, good food and good wine is what the good life is all about in South Australia. Because wine is synonymous with the state's lifestyle. The local wine-producing regions have long been among the most popular tourist attractions. Wine has contributed greatly to South Australia's image. It's generally regarded as the premier wine state, and the dozens of vineyards which dot the countryside have created their own appealing landscape. The separate wine regions which stretch throughout the state are all within a few hours' drive from Adelaide, with perhaps Australia's best-known region, the famous Barossa Valley, only an hour north of the city. Settled by Lutherans from the provinces of Silesia and Prussia who fled to Australia to escape religious persecutions in their homeland, the Barossa today retains an exceptionally strong German influence. The names tell it all, as do the authentic recipes followed by local butchers, cake makers and restaurateurs. All of the wine regions have their distinctive traits. The Southern Vales, virtually an extension of the sprawling southern suburbs, has a genuine mix of Australian and Italian tradition. Naturally, when there are wine vintages, there are associated festivals to commemorate the good pickings. Spectacular events such as the Barossa Valley Vintage Festival and the McLaren Vale Bushing Festival. Good wines and food are a natural combination. So it's no coincidence that a selection of superb restaurants are scattered throughout the wine-growing districts. Wineries in all regions are open and welcome visitors to inspect, to sample some special choices and to buy at cellared prices. Often you'll find that the person filling your glass is the winemaker who will gladly spare time to talk about his label and explain his individual technique of producing wines that equal the world's best. Besides the obvious attractions of each of the wine regions, there are many other points of interest, like the world's largest rocking horse on one of the routes into the Barossa Valley. Climbing to the top of this 20-metre monster might sound like kid stuff, but adults do it every day of the week. And in the mid-north, the making of two classic movies has added that star quality to the Clare Valley. First there was Picnic at Hanging Rock, which has made Martindale Hall at Mintaro Australia's best-known mansion. And then the award-winning Breaker Morant, which turned the township of Burra into a real-life movie set. Of course, the filmmakers know a thing or two about scenery. In the deep southeast of the state, when touring the historic Coonawarra district, it's impossible to overlook the mysterious Blue Lake at Mount Gambier. For part of the year, the lake, in an extinct volcano crater, is its normal colour. But during the summer months, the water turns a brilliant azure blue. In the Riverland, the enormous range of other activities is obvious. Adelaide is the closest capital city to Australia's longest waterway, the River Murray, which completes the last 650 kilometres of its journey to the sea through South Australia. In less than an hour you could be skiing, sailing, swimming, fishing or simply cruising the mighty Murray. Drive yourself houseboats are year-round favourites as families and friends skipper their rental craft to wherever they want to, whenever they want to and doing whatever they want to. For those who prefer the grand scale of luxury cruising, vessels ranging from old-time paddle-wheelers to Rhine-style cruisers ply the river during half-day, full-day and 5-day journeys, meandering past towering cliffs, huge stands of red gums, lush vineyards and orchards, quiet lagoons and peaceful bird sanctuaries. As well as the water-based activities, there's plenty to do on land. The novelty of the big river is enhanced by places like the award-winning Loxton Historical Village. Strolling through the specially recreated streets and shops from yesteryear, it's easy to relive the days of early pioneers. Or here's something to put a bit of bounce into your day. Monash Playground, where the weirdest looking assortment of slides and rides entertains the adults just as much as the children. And what would one of Australia's greatest citrus producing areas be without a subtle reminder? It's called the Big Orange. You can't eat it, but inside it provides a fascinating glimpse of some of the Riverland's major features. This is what they call Nature's Island. Its real name is Kangaroo Island. An apt description considering the number of kangaroos that roam free within Flinders Chase National Park, which covers 13% of the island. Wild and beautiful Kangaroo Island lies only 30 minutes flying time south of Adelaide, and because of its unspoiled character and charm, has long been a favourite with tourists looking to lose themselves in another world. There's no public transport, but coach tours and hire cars provide the ideal way of getting out and about, to places like Seal Bay, where these fascinating creatures bask in the shelter of sandhills or frolic in the sea. Walk down on the beach and see for yourselves. And there's spots like Admiral's Arch. Try solving the riddle of remarkable rocks, or share your lunch with the emus, kangaroos and other friends at Flinders Chase. While the pounding seas of the Southern Ocean add that taste of adventure to the island's rugged coastline, there's still plenty of sheltered coves and inlets that are ideal for swimming, sailing and fishing. Adelaide is the gateway city to the rugged Australian outback. A few hours north lies the spectacular Flinders Ranges. Further north again are the harsh, arid deserts, opal mining territory, and beyond to Ayers Rock and Australia's famed Red Centre. The Flinders Ranges have long been popular with painters and photographers attracted by the challenge of the changing colours in this remarkable landscape. In spring, a carpet of wildflowers provides a stark contrast to the grandeur of Wilpena Pound, a massive bowl-shaped plateau completely encircled by craggy mountain peaks which are 100 million years old. Such a natural environment is also a mountain climber's paradise, with dozens of hiking and bushwalking trails winding through the scenic gorges. The remains of ancient Aboriginal art, paintings and rock carvings known to be 12,000 years old can still be found in many places throughout the Flinders. Further north, great open plains, ocean-sized dry salt lakes and silent deserts make up the vast wilderness of South Australia's legendary outback. It stands as one of the world's last frontiers, an amazing 60 million hectares inhabited by only 1% of the state's population. It's a land of station people, of opal miners, prospectors and mining teams. From South Australia's outback comes 75% of the world's opal, gouged out by miners who come from every corner of the world to win the brilliant, fiery and sometimes gently coloured gemstones from the earth around Andamuka and Kupapiti. Part of the fascination of Kupapiti are the comfortable motels and guest houses that stand alongside the homes of permanent townsfolk. Unique underground dugouts which provide refuge from the searing heat. In summer, more than 50 degrees Celsius. There's even an underground church. The spirit of adventure lives on in South Australia, as locals delight in doing things just a little out of the ordinary. Where else can you take off in a gypsy wagon for a while, or add a further dash of days gone by in an authentic Cobb & Co stagecoach? If you fancy hiring your own island, that's no problem. Which one would you like? Or maybe you'd prefer to sample the good life on board a luxury yacht before you actually rush out to buy your own. Again, no problem. Now, where would you like to go?
On the south side of Australia, a vision became true. Amid the hills of Montefiore, cast a light of shining blue. From the grazing wines and river trade, set a scene for unity. Came biennial prosperity, a common fortitude. Australia's best kept secret, Adelaide. Adelaide, South Australia, for me. From the noise of New York City to the cold of the Tasman Sea, find a way to get to Adelaide, a place you've got to see. In the scenic streets of this old town, cuts a band of land and trees. Surrounding this tranquility, I'll be. But hear the sounds of the city, feel the excitement all around. When the Grand Prix comes to Adelaide, I'll be bound. Yeah, hear the sounds of the city, feel the excitement all around. When the Grand Prix comes to Adelaide, I'll be bound. Australia's Grand Prix city, Adelaide. Adelaide, South Australia, for me.
In a city where there's room to move and time to breathe, it's good to do all the things you enjoy, like walking through the parklands, feeding the birds and animals, or window shopping for bargains in the heart of the city, or hitting the high spots of the sophisticated nightlife. In the country, you can sample the best of Australia's wines. Take a safari to where you've never been before. In Adelaide, the Grand Prix capital, it's this easy to make your dreams come true.
Make a dream come true, it is right for you. Make a dream come true, Adelaide. Make a dream come true, it is right for you. Make a dream come true, Adelaide. Experience the care of the southern flair. Make a dream come true, it is right for you. Adelaide, South Australia. Experience the care of the southern flair. Make a dream come true, it is right for you. Adelaide, 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 South Australia.